moment, including what just happened, is going to be the start of episode 27.
Start all nutsies.
Let's continue all of this noise and nonsense. I will start this with a small, funny side story. I was getting coffee with a friend who also watches the show, is not fully caught up, Isolator, and we were talking, and he told me he was on episode 20, and then like later in the conversation I referenced about that time, like, oh, it was like when Tully died, and he just looked at me, and I was like, that happens at like episode 19 or 20, right? And he goes, what are you talking about? And then I pulled out my phone and looked at the episode, and I was like, oh my gosh, that happens in like episode 22. I'm so sorry.
Wow.
And so he hounded me, and he was just like, well, who's Rachel's new character? Who's Rachel's new character? And I said, you'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. Wait and see.
So I ruined it for someone.
Wow.
But anyway, to hop into any type of announcements and all of that jazz, I think the only announcement I want to do for this episode is check out our Spring Tea store on our, if you go to our Twitter, you can see it in our link tree, and it's also linked on like all of our episodes. It's going to be right down there at the bottom of this. Here's one of the really cool, awesome shirts that you can get. It says hip hip.
Okay.
And then the half says the back.
The half says
the back doesn't. Cool. Do it. And then I will just recap now episode 26 and get us right into the action. So, actually I lied. Half step back. Even though this is going to be like a week and a half late, congratulations to friend of the show, Kit Southwick, who won our YouTube giveaway.
Nice.
And then for Twitter, Miss Lola Montes. And so I've already been in contact with both of them. She is on Twitch. She streams lots of video games, as well as Wednesday nights. She streams Dungeons and Dragons. She just got started into that as well.
Hot dog.
So go check her out on Twitter.
Is she an influencer? Does she influence people?
Her influence is growing, and and she's influenced herself into a free coffee art. So check her out on Twitter to get the rest of her socials at Miss Lola Montez, MISS LOLAMONTEZ.
What a cool name, if that is true.
Yeah.
If she's not lying for her teeth to us, that's a cool name.
Lola would never.
You don't know Lola like Rachel does. That Lola.
In getting her email address, she did email me from a different actual name. But maybe she doesn't want that known.
Probably not.
Yeah. All of that loud beeping you just heard is what Stephen edited out. You're welcome.
It was actually Dan yelling fuck over and over again. Really loud.
No.
Read my lips through that entire thing to verify what she just said.
I said it again.
Hey, let's start episode 27 here. No, to recap, what happened in the last episode for season 26 is the party started split, heading to the archive and Ocean's Deep Goblet to talk to Rukildar and to return some library books with Fairgrind, who was also doing some reading. That's right, and Thule and Fairgrind did some wonderful reading to learn more about this Aboleth creature. The rest of the party stumbled into a funeral where some of the fishermen's families had died the night prior from a Truloth attack in the city while they were at the Burness estate. Thelen talked to a fisherman there named Akin and gave them some rallying hope, as well as Pilgrim roaming around the bar talking to some of the fishermen. Oh no, is it the Be Real? Is this happening right now?
No.
Everyone download Be Real.
Everyone download Be Real.
And then after that, Pilgrim was rallying the troops, and we went to the Onyx Pillar Academy.
Yeah.
I was trying to call it the song title.
I always ruin the front-facing one. It looks horrible. It takes it like a second later.
You can retake it.
Anyway, no, it's too late.
Oh, that's not being real.
No, yeah.
It's delicate.
I'm sorry.
Be your authentic self.
Okay.
Anyway.
Like three of them have broken.
So, Pilgrim then also got a bunch of defenseless civilians to say they would join them in the fight. To which he later is like, maybe he wants to change up. But no, they're not defenseless. They're very capable people. Anywho, everyone, cool. Then everyone regathered at the Onyx Pillar Academy, where they learned more about the Truloth and also Lorelith and Savarin had a conversation upstairs that led to Savarin saying she's going to open up to Munkin about the incidents of a week ago.
About a week ago.
Oh my gosh.
So, I think the last thing that was said was Savarin going, so, Munkin. Yes.
One more question. Is that Jeffrey's correct D20?
I don't know.
I didn't know if it mattered.
No.
The weight.
Let's give him the tiny one. Wait, I was thinking that was actually roll really despite how adorable Steve is.
Alrighty.
So 27 starts now. All right. And now
we're in it.
So it's lower left than Savarin upstairs.
No,
No,
we're
everything
We're
downstairs.
downstairs. Okay.
Savarin went. So
Also, they brought down a salad.
Yeah, we did.
We're on a salad.
All vegetarian.
Yeah. And so Savarin says, so Munkin. And she kind of mirroring some of Tuli's behaviors of like bouncing her fingertips to each other and just kind of thinking, leans forward in her seat and says, so Munkin, about 6 or 7 days ago, when you sent me into the storage room to get supplies, and you remember when I was hearing that voice and was over by the lake and all of that? Yes, there was a bit more to that story that I just didn't feel comfortable telling you yet. And then her face goes really red and she just kind of puts her head down for a second. Under her breath, a couple of you sitting nearby can hear her just go like exasperate and just say like, this is so embarrassing. And while she's kind of in that, Munkin looks over at her and doesn't say anything yet, but his eyebrows just kind of like raise up very curiously. He kind of leans back and lets this awkward moment linger on. Okay, and then she steals herself back and sits back up. So there was a stone in the storage room that we believe took control of my mind and made me go towards the lake. And that was why I needed to be saved from these adventurers, these good people. And then she just kind of smiles, makes eye contact with Laura lips, and smile fades. She kind of slowly turns over towards Munkin. And he's just like looking over her for another moment, a bit more just silence. And he smiles. I'm so thankful for all of you. And I haven't expressed this verbally, though. I do feel truly indebted to each of you. So thank you for keeping Savarin safe and how you all were able to intervene a week ago. With that said, Savarin, which stone is this, and where is it now? And Savarin just says, it was like a light purple stone, I think, and she's kind of looking over at Orla for verification. And kind of smoky black in appearance. Do you not know what it is? And he says something. No. Do you have it, or is it still upstairs? And so I'm just looked over again to Orla.
It's in my pocket.
It's in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
We have it right now.
Okay.
Pilgrim's been the keeper of it, as he is the most familiar with this kind of stone. And maybe he can share some more about it, and it will jog your memory.
Sure. Yeah. Or like, do you mind if I look at it too?
It's up to you, dude.
I will tell you this up front, Munkin. We have learned a great deal of this recently secret stone. It is a husk stone. Are you familiar with these and their purpose?
No, I have not heard of the stone of that name or kind. But continue.
Well, husk stones are essentially sort of vessels mined from the earth. My people used them to preserve the spirit, the consciousness of our elders. If used properly, a husk stone can be a sort of transferal device. A consciousness, a spirit can be placed within a husk stone from an old body, perhaps a broken body, and then transferred from that stone to a new body. But it is a way to essentially elongate life. In theory, this could even be a road to immortality. The preservation of a consciousness. However, it seems a malevolent spirit is within this particular husk stone. One that we now know belonged to Abeloth. Is that what it's called? Aboleth. That belongs to an Aboleth, the consciousness of an Aboleth, and it seems to have retained the psychic abilities of this Aboleth, as many of us have been under psychic assault from this stone. I say all of this up front because to reveal the stone is to risk mental assault.
Tuli goes, no.
Oh yeah. You know.
This is all very curious. I remember working with a stone that sounds similar to that description when I made the containment chamber that I gave you all. And you were saying that this stone would have been this husk stone. Why? This is weirdly hard to remember right now, but hearing this story about it is bringing a lot of these experiences to mind. And his eyes go very wide. I talked with this stone years ago. That's how I wrote the book, a lot of the book that Tuli, you just read on the Aboleth. I would get these migraine-like headaches after a while, and then I just stopped working with it. And I haven't thought of it since.
Can I roll a perception check? I don't believe him.
An insight check.
That's the one.
Okay. So if he's lying, is basically what you're.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never trusted him.
Mm-hmm.
Not since the beginning. Oops.
She's just leaning ever closer, squinting and squinting and squinting.
13.
Okay.
That's way too long a pause.
Get to know something! Confirmed!
He killed us all.
He's the eyeball.
Throughout listening to his whole I'm trying to figure out how to communicate to you what other people would be thinking or knowing, but it's fine.
Just do a secret to me.
It's okay. The way that he physically winces when thinking and trying to recall, and the rate at which he's starting to piece things together and talk through it, it feels like he's walking through this actively. His active thoughts are coming out of his mouth as he's remembering what's going on.
Julie kind of is like blown away. It was like clearly physically trying to process. And she's like, wait. So
She is blowing away.
she's like laying half on her chair, just like trying to come to terms.
So like when someone
She says, she says, so wait, so you're saying, Pilgrim, that the consciousness in the stone is actually like the consciousness of the Abeloth? That makes so much sense. And then she says, is that the case?
If what this creature has done is the same as what my people did with these stones, then yes. It would seem that the eyes that appear within the stone match identically the eyes in the body we found.
Tuli's like,
Wow!
she is blown away. Munkin, when did you write the book on the Abeloth?
and you talk to the stone monkey?
Hey,
That was about 3 years ago.
oh, so recently.
Relatively recently, yeah.
How, if you recall, did you come across the stone?
This feels like a weird memory. But I think a goblin gave it to me.
A goblin gave it to you?
Yes.
Can I roll an insight again?
Yeah.
Do that.
Skeptical or...
That doesn't sound right. A goblin gave it to me?
Yeah.
My dog ate my homework?
My dog stepped on me.
Whoa, you're getting
17.
better.
Great. He seems just as surprised at what he's saying as you do.
Want more information than that?
Now, we did discover...
I want him to lie.
We discovered an encampment of goblins near the lake. Would you have ever found yourself out there?
No, but...
Also, aren't goblins mean? Why did it give it to you?
That's what I'm thinking about, too. It was on a Founding Day festival. So it could have been somebody dressed as a goblin?
Oh.
Yeah, that makes more sense than an actual.
Where were you?
This was.
Does this seem like he's remembering better or that he's backpedaling?
You don't have to roll attention.
Got him.
100.
19 plus 7. 26.
Oh.
My eyes are now his eyes.
Wow, we don't get to know. A secret. This is all that I wanted this entire time. I wanted this. I wanted helpful information.
It was like 2 hours ago, and I was like, I don't want to give Sally a secret. It was weird.
She rolled a 26.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I rolled a 17.
This is 9 iron.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm sorry I didn't whisper in your ear.
Well, if he had nothing to lie about, then having more numbers wouldn't have mattered.
Dan said I was a handsome young man.
He said, I'm just doing this so that way Sally gets it. I'm actually not saying anything helpful other than he's not lying.
Steven, did it start with Hey Little Mama, Let Me Whisper in Your Ear? Because Dan does know that whole song.
Oh, good.
No, it was just a lot of raspberries.
Oh yeah.
I'm really good at stealth raspberry. Sorry.
Yeah?
Whispering.
Yes.
Yes.
Munkin, in piecing this together, and he's still reflecting. Yeah, it was a very curious day. I remember that this particular goblin who was also using like very complex armored pieces that looked like they had moving gears interlocked within parts of it. Oh, this is... And he laughs and goes, Soren, I kind of sound like you right now. And she just awkwardly laughs.
I make no sense, like you.
I'm a big dumb idiot, like you
What
are.
pair of fools we are.
Here's my book. Go read it.
I was working on the bronze bull, and there was this contestant. He jousted and did not particularly win the tournament, but I remembered having a couple conversations with him throughout the day. But at the end of it, it was just about sunset, and I was helping get some of the creatures and monsters used at the bronze bull back into their pens when he approached me and said that, he said that his clan leader had given him this stone, and that he was supposed to find someone in the city to give it to. And that he thought that I would handle it well. And I took it, and he left. And that was the conversation.
This man dressed as a goblin.
It was Founder's name.
Yes.
With metal armor?
Yes.
Did you get a look at the face beneath the goblin costume?
It was a really good costume.
Are you from the clan?
I am indeed. You're from the clan? I can't imagine anyone from the Carissa clan would have perverted a huskstone in such a way, though.
Didn't Fairgrand say he knew someone from the clan?
He did. I also recently checked out and returned on time a book that detailed some comings and goings, and it seems that there were Kalishtar that have come through Populous in the past. However, it seems to be very difficult to track them down now.
You also rolled really high when you read that book. And so just to kind of clarify with what you just said too, one, it seemed as if it was just the one.
Okay.
So it's only
Just
known
one.
about.
Just one.
Right.
Okay.
But not as if it was a very common thing, like not that there was like multiple people.
Was it Remy a woman?
Yeah.
Okay, and he said man. You just said man. The one king said man, or did not say man. Just said someone dressed as a goblin.
Right.
They specify.
Yeah, don't assume their gender.
I heard man.
I am
I said he, so gave me this.
below average intelligence, but
Are you in character right now?
if I could, yes. Ah! If I could help, I mean, I'm not helping, but I'm pointing out that the stone wanted to talk to Nemo. Again. Do you know Nemo? Do you know what's wrong with him?
Pilgrim kind of shifts uncomfortably a little bit. Nemo was my name when I was a part of the Carissa clan. I am now Pilgrim.
So it was you that gave the stone.
There's the negative.
There it is!
Oh, it's all come together. Pilgrim puts their finger up and then with the other hand points at Monk and says, "Did you ever hear him say Nemo?" "No, I did not give him the stone. That has nothing to do with this. I wonder if this Rini, who was the previous Kalishtar, I wonder if she's connected to this somehow. It seems very likely she is."
This definitely seems like your fault.
Interesting.
In some way. I know it's not mine.
No, that what we're trying to figure out is whose fault it is. That doesn't seem to be the root of the question.
We are simply tracing the history of this defiled huskstone.
Yeah.
Sounds like it came from your people,
It's certainly...
As opposed
especially
to,
if it knows who you are.
As opposed to the Israeli people.
There's no... I mean, I guess, I kind of like take a minute, Pilgrim looks at this. Like, I'm just trying to like rack through my weird, jumbled, clouding, like, do my people have any connection to Abeloth? Like, is there any connection between our people and a thing that, like, maybe there's something I just can't remember?
Just roll a d20 for me.
Roll a history
Okay.
Ooh.
Clear the fog, light the path, says Pilgrim to himself, as he rolls a nat 20.
Oh!
Great.
Failed.
Yeah.
Sorry, you needed at least a 27 to be able to find out this information.
That's a good point.
Critical memory.
No, not at all. When it comes to like the actual clan, or like if they would have them around or know of them or be related to them at all. However, just like the powers and maybe even like worldly universal origin of like your people's kind and this creature's kind, like because there are some pretty similar like powers associated between Kalishtar and this aboleth, like there's maybe some relation there, but like when it comes to all of the study, interworking, and knowing the culture of your clan, like there's no overlap of like anything that your people would be doing with something like this.
Truly, the only link between my people and this creature is limited to the manipulation of the mind, the use of psychic abilities. We overlap in that way, but on all other fronts, we have no connection. These creatures they are not from where I am from. I was introduced to these creatures at the same time you all were. If Rini truly was the Kalishtar who brought this husk stone to Populous, I don't know where she got it, why she would carry something that was so evil in its nature. I simply do not know.
But it knows your name.
It knows the name I once went by, yes, which seems... it is deeply troubling, to say the least.
And like, where does the Asura family fit into all of this? Because we found the containment and the other Avalok body in the lab where the Asura family, does their thing.
And there was that juice
And there was that juice. So,
that sister drank.
Munkin, why do you think... oh yeah. Munkin, why do you think this person would have given you the stone? What do you think they were hoping to accomplish? They wanted you to write this book, you think?
If this person were an actual goblin, the motivations behind a goblin clan to do something like this is beyond me. If this was an actual person or someone from your clan, that feels even more odd and strange for me to... Now, I don't know your people very well to know what their motivations would be either. Or why somebody would put a creature like this in a stone in the first place, like, unless just proving that they could do it, which, thinking about when I was tinkering with this stone to understand its magic and create the containment chamber, there were times that I would put creatures in the chamber just to see if it worked. As somebody who studies magic in this way, I couldn't imagine what somebody would want to do with this aboleth in the stone, unless also self-protection if this creature were coming after them and putting it in the stone was their only option. And then you can see them just brain is racking and racking as he's looking down, just trying to continue to crunch through everything that y'all are sharing. Because it's long. Was there a follow-up question?
Any reason that Cicero, that guy that was with us, any reason his family might be connected to this and to you and to the Avalon in the book?
That family always stayed very much outside, but his father, Viscero?
Viscero.
Viscero is
Glycero, the wet one.
Ew.
Would sometimes we would talk shop, and I would provide some materials and implements and stuff for his alchemy. Very short on any topics outside of that. Never really knew what he was doing.
Great.
So he was very. That same drive that I talked to you about in the archive, he had that too. Just that, like, anything that it would take to learn what he wanted to learn.
Well, here's what we know. A bunch of sailors are planning to get rid of the Tula.
Okay.
And they're all gonna die.
So I guess the question
Someone
is,
got them wrong, though. Who's to say them?
who's to say who? It was probably Fallon.
Hey, I'm right here, guys.
Sorry, Fallon. Great, it wasn't you. So, can we get rid of the Tula without figuring out right now the mystery of the Hearthstone? That's my question. It seems like the Avalon is connected to the Tula.
Well, with what Gwen had said earlier about
Mother compass.
this compass, yes, and I did confirm. I do agree that these Chuloth are receiving communications from something, and if something were going to be powerful enough to do it, it would be like what was in this stone. It seems to be the head.
What if, okay, here's a thought. What if we get the townspeople to take all of their magical stuff that's by the pier to a safe place and draw the Chuloth there? Meanwhile, we use the morbid compass to sneak and find the Avalon.
What if we take the town and push it somewhere else?
That's on the table too.
While Tilly was talking, Boone kind of put his thinking face on and looked at Munkin.
Oh, what's wrong with your face?
Yeah. And Munkin, is there anyone? Pause. Does our fantasy world have any concept of a bomb?
Fireball.
Only very powerful magic.
Wait, you can do something.
Yeah, a lot of things.
Honestly, yeah, the biggest,
Yeah.
probably magic-induced explosion you've ever seen came from her when she did the Agonizer Scorcher.
Well, that's actually even better. Julie, I wonder if this magical lure you are alluding to could be used to bring the Chuloth to a central place to then put some of your more explosive skills to the test.
Too good.
The hair lights up fire and starts to lift off.
Yeah, I like that. And she says, interesting.
And then I look over at Munkin. Have you, in your studies, collected or become aware of any sort of materials that react violently to flame? We're gonna invent bombs today.
You caused all wars just now.
You're welcome. I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Day palm, something. It's very hot.
Yeah.
Agent Red.
Pilgrim doesn't like to fight, but he does like to invent bombs.
And there's a very weak level of this in a fluid called Alchemist's Fire that, in small vials that I may have one or two, and it in itself is a combustible fluid, but I've only seen it work in small doses, I've never even seen that. I don't even know where you would get anything more than a vial or two.
Are you in possession of such a vial?
I could go and check and see if I either have it or can make it.
Well,
What's the plan?
before
Bob?
I'm afraid that my mind has taken me down a path that is unrelated to what we were talking about, which was this strange stone and the true law that is attached to it. Thank you for it. Would appear in listening to you, it seems as if this malevolent husk stone did something within its psychic abilities to keep you from remembering some of this.
Not only that, but I do believe it used some type of spell or ability to, on a long term, significantly harm me if ever thinking or acting against its wishes. I would take serious caution before spending a lot of time talking with this creature.
Don't have to tell me twice. Julie,
I would take serious caution.
No,
what
you don't
did I
have
just
to.
say? Julie, can spells be undone? Is there a way to undo to Monken's mind what has been done to him by this stone?
Can Tuli see if she has any?
Yeah, I would say actually the only person at the table who would know is Tuli. And through study and whatnot at the academy, at very high levels of magic, there are ways to undo magic, undo curses, or just completely nullify magic as it's happening, or if it's on something, things like that. And there is a particular school of magic that does help them focus on doing that, but it's pretty challenging. Also through your particular class in the Applied Mind, that eventually, as you continue to grow familiar with the arcane, that you have some pretty natural abilities of things like counterspell and dispel magic. Both of these you would already know of existing as spells that, if given enough time interacting with magic, eventually you yourself will get to a point in time in your ability to immediately cancel out magic and even harness that magic within yourself.
Cool. I communicate that to the party. And then does Tuli perceive anything that she could at least identify what type of magic, or she just knows it's psychic, or what particular spell is on Monken?
Oh, that. Go ahead and roll an Arcana check.
Okay.
Sounds like we gotta go to the tall grass and grind until we're high enough level to learn the magic spells.
God, we should just fight.
Ooh. Okay.
Fight
So, the particular school of magic of something that would impact Monken in this way is enchantment. And I would also say, with a roll that high too, that him coming to remember a lot of these details as he has been in front of you, it seems as if a lot of the effects of whatever magic was on him is wearing off naturally. And he's been able, over time, that either the magic is wearing off or something has changed.
I communicate this to the party.
Well, that's encouraging. Great.
So I don't know if this means the stone's weakening or what that means. Maybe, I mean, we do have it wrapped up in someone's scarf, so. So, Pilgrim, yeah, I'm gonna revisit this idea of luring the Chuloth. I like this idea of Julie's envisioning this brave last stand, even though she just died. She's envisioning like standing on a half tall like brick wall with like a flag, and like her, with like the farms people behind her, and like. And she's saying, so if we lured the Chuloth to the side and y'all went to like that island where we think maybe that Abeloth might be in the middle of the lake, or where we were talking about fighting him, that might be a way to get to him. There's no way we're going to get to him if he has his Chuloth with him. So, but here's the thing. Y'all are going to have to find it and have some way to either kill it.
Easy.
Preferably so not kill it, preferably so we could talk to it, I guess. But either kill it or cut off its psychic ability, because otherwise those townspeople and me are goners. 2.0.
It does remind me of something. A quick pause. If you could roll 2 d20 for me.
Okay. Whoa.
Why you doing 2?
I'm a man.
Whoa!
You messed with the bull, you did the horn!
I'm gonna roll an actual d20 this time.
I've literally never seen him do that before. Never done it.
That feels low, but I can't reach it.
What is it?
Cassandra, could you help? I think it's low.
My eyes.
What's that one?
It's a 2.
It's a 2.
Okay, and roll another one for me.
Okay.
Just a 2. Do better than 2.
Okay.
Do better than 2. Yeah, please.
It's a 4.
No,
twice as good.
Okay, so
You
you
listen.
remember the Threadweaver's ring that you
Yes.
were wearing, and the way that its abilities work, and you would roll 1, and only like long rested, and you could use that however you wanted to. With it now splitting, and it does have 2 pieces on it now, you get 2 die for it. So both of those are the rolls that will be in effect with your ring, and you can use those to replace any creature's
Oh, I see.
attack, saving throw, or
So that could be good.
skill check. So yes, you have that 2 and the 4 in your back pocket, or there's other ways that you can use that with the ring's abilities, but those are your rules for today. I just forgot that I'd be doing with the long rest.
I'm trying to turn the Abeloth into a puppy, and he rolls it 2.
Ugh.
So, sorry, I cut you off too, as you were talking about raising your flag, singing your song, and
I think you got the gist.
I did.
What do you guys think?
I am weary. I am tired of the Chuloth's reign of darkness over this town. I am a fan of a way of eradicating them that limits the further injury or death of the good people of this town. So, devising a way to destroy them from a distance is very attractive to me, which is what had me thinking of this. You began speaking of luring away with magical items, so the way I see it, if we could lure them to a place where they are then swiftly dispatched, this could be a good way to remove the threat, and also remove the threat of further injury to this town.
So
Apart from the explosion that will damage the town in some areas.
So you're saying lure them to the island and then blow up the island.
The island seems like the perfect place.
And then we track down the Abeloth with none of its minions to protect it. Is that what you're saying?
I am a fan. If we could pull off such a feat, it could be marvelous.
What do you guys think? I'm ready to fight something.
Yeah, I'm ready to have crab for dinner.
Okay.
Monkey, could you see if you have any of this combustive liquid you spoke of?
Sure, yeah, I will be right back.
And we sit and smile at each other.
Can
while we
Tuli
wait.
also think that there's anything, any combination of spells that she knows, or any like naturally occurring source that would help create a huge explosion of fire? Will she know
Specifically with
anything?
magic?
Or like magic with on some kind of like phosphorus rock that she
Sure,
knows
sure,
is in
okay.
the area or something.
Or
a combination of spells.
Yeah.
I know nature. I know hills.
Oh, true.
I know hills and valleys.
I also say Tolora though.
Yeah.
Do you know anything that's highly flammable as well?
Yeah.
I'm thinking too.
I would say between both of you and training and experience, everything that you have there, that seems very out of your realm, especially with the natural terrain and what would be immediately around to that. Laura, specifically, nothing comes to your mind with your knowledge of it, and same with Tuli.
Dry grass.
Get burned down
The knowledge of dry grass.
You all could create a large fire.
I check my pockets.
Is that not what we want?
I'm doing a pocket check for gunpowder. It's a name.
You find 8 gunpowders.
Wait, did we learn what your liquids do from the caves? Is that flammable?
Yeah, we did.
The black liquid, the blue liquid?
It was the blue liquid. It was the base for alchemy.
Oh, yeah, very good.
For alchemy's explosion? What'd you say? Alchemy fire?
Oh, that would be embarrassing if that's literally what it is. I think we shall have it with us, right?
Yeah.
We have notes.
Well, in that case, I remember that and I set it on the table for when Monkey gets back.
Great. He comes back down. He does have 2 vials, which they do look relatively small.
Of the same liquid.
No, it is a different color.
Okay.
But these vials are thin and tall cylinders with little corks on top. And I mean, he hands them immediately over to Pilgrim. These are what I described earlier. If these are thrown at or opened up and dumped out in some way, they over time would just do like a very small bit of a burning effect on whatever you put this on for a little while. If you had more of it, maybe it would work in the way that you wish, but maybe use this in your cause.
I indicate the blue liquid on the table. Do you know if this... We found this in the mystical, magical laboratory.
Magical
mystery wonderland.
Could this liquid be combined with ingredients to create more of this concoction?
And takes the vial. Yes, it could. And this is quite a bit more than what I just gave you. I think overnight I could change this to fit what you were looking for.
That's a foundational arcane fluid that can be used for alchemy.
Doing foundation.
Said arcane instead of
Do
alchemy,
it.
'cause I'm
That's an arcade fluid. It makes Pac-Man.
What about, Tim says, what about that gorge right outside the lab
What?
on the beach where the Tulop were? Remember I told you about it?
Yeah.
Like when I came out of the water.
Oh, yeah.
When I came up out of the water and there's like a beach and there's like a cliff on each side, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think. And like a beach and then the forest. And the island.
Yes, okay.
What if we lured them there and then people up top?
Isn't that just where they are anyway?
Yeah, exactly.
So we did it.
to where
Yeah.
We did it.
But we lured them up onto the beach and then fired.
Yeah, we don't want to find the water.
perhaps we from the top drop the magical. Here's the plan.
Oh,
Get ready.
you got a sick coin?
Magic items. We coat the magic items in the spicy liquid.
So he goes,
And then we drop the items from the top of this gorge you described onto the beach. Critters come. Tuli launches a fire. Blow them up. Whoever's remaining, we fire upon from above.
he says, well, we probably need more than just the ones I have. If we could convince the townspeople, I don't know.
If we could destroy their items instead, it does seem like the ones that you have are very useful. So,
Julie says, it seems like there's two options here. Luring the Chuloth and fighting them all together and then going for the Abeloth. Or we split up. Lure the Chuloth to get them away from the Abeloth and y'all seek and find him. I think the benefit of the second plan is that what if we can't beat the Chuloth without cutting them off from the Abeloth? And what if we try to blow them up and there's way too many?
That's a good point.
but if we are divided numbers, do we have this chance against this very powerful creature?
True. I hate to send Best off. I mean, I hate to
But she
not
does
go.
make a good point that not only are we gaining in numbers, but the Abeloth is also gaining in numbers by being together with the Tulip.
This is a tricky one.
I mean, and the thing about that is y'all would have to actually, probably there's no way we could beat the Tulip.
We would have to, actually do something.
Yeah, y'all would have to, actually cut them off before they killed us. So it's a race against time. Should we talk to, is there someone we should talk to about our plan? Should we talk to the farmers about
Hold on, I have a question.
Yeah.
And it may be a stupid question.
Uh-oh.
And it may be a not intelligent question. Because I just
At the
don't know
same
things.
And it may be a redundant question.
Because I'm Laura. Munkin, do you know if there is a limit to how far something can be from the Abeloth for it to lose its connection?
I imagine there is, though I don't know what it is.
You wrote the book on it, though.
I wrote as much as I could figure out.
But this morbid compass we've collected seems to still be stimulated from this distance.
From this distance, yes.
How far are we from the lake right now?
1,000 miles? I don't know.
No.
Like a 10-minute walk.
Didn't we say, I have a number here, this is our game, we said that the creatures can detect magic within about 120 feet?
Mm-hmm. The True Love can.
The True Love can.
True Love, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm talking about the Abeloth.
Right.
Sure, I'm just wondering if there's a connection in that number.
Oh,
Because they can, because they can.
Right.
Mm.
Like without Abeloth knowledge, then maybe they could detect magic. That's what you're saying.
I do like Abeloth better than Aboleth.
This is Misery's contribution.
Because the rest of Chuloth.
Meanwhile, while you all are still having this conversation, Monk has finished his salad and he is rolling on the floor with Wolfie. And he is has his hands and he just keeps petting him and getting to know him, and they're having a good time.
Now might be a good time to tell you that he can breathe fire.
Ah.
It seems like he really likes you. I don't think you're in danger
You
of
seem in
it.
a good place right
But
now.
I just wanted
he's
to,
pinned to the ground by Wolfie. He's like, ah.
Just want to make sure you're aware of the situation you're in.
And Wolfie looks at you as you say it, and it's all smiles down at Munkin, and then Thor just kind of lights up a bit. And Munkin's like,
Felon is in the room with us, right?
yes,
Just sitting quietly.
yes.
Hi, Fallon. How are you doing?
This is all just way above my head right now. I just met you guys.
It's a good impression.
Very good. Seems on brand.
So we say, Gwen, what do you think?
You've been awfully quiet.
Suspicious. Insight check.
Oh my gosh. I hit her in the head.
It's not an insight check.
It's insight into your brain.
It's an inside check.
Yeah.
Ow.
Right in the
I killed
body.
Gwen to find out what's inside of her skull.
Oh dear.
That sounds more like Morlith then.
Anyway.
The morbid compass is the best I got. We have no idea if shutting that thing off at the source will do anything or not.
That's true.
I don't know. We don't. We also don't. We don't know that the morbid compass is pointing to the amulet necessarily. Full of question marks.
So you guys think we should try and sneak our way to the Abeloth and forget about luring the Tulip away?
I think distraction is good to lure them away if there's enough protection, but I just don't know that we're certain that the amulet is where the sim is pointing. Probably is, but we don't.
You're saying we should do some more investigation before we go full charge into an attack plan.
I'm not even suggesting anything. I'm just saying there's a lot of question marks. I don't even know that there's more that we can investigate.
Pilgrim can look at Felon. Felon, weren't you saying earlier that you have the ability to track this aboleth if it is properly described to you?
So, I definitely said that. But
I don't understand.
I was wrong.
but I also think that is the case that it cannot.
But like you said it.
He can track it, but he can track this
You
roll.
make everything up in D&D.
This is homebrew, so you kind of make the rules
This
here.
is your home.
You wrote the book on
Well,
this.
this
We
is our
rent this house.
Can Felon find aboleth poison in his pocket?
I am very good at.
Whoa! No!
You can make the decision.
I'm very good at tracking things. I do not think I could magically locate this thing without, any type of magical tracking I'm not capable of. But physical tracking, I'm a guy.
This is understandable. It seemed almost too good to be true. It stands to reason that it was, in fact, too good to be true.
Nice. Well put.
What if we get Farrakhan and... Oh, did I interrupt you?
No. Wait, he was funny because he's being mean.
What if we have everybody meet tomorrow at the Ocean Steep? Like Farrakhan, Ripodar, all the farmers.
To do what?
To decide on the plan.
We're gonna take the farmer's input?
Well, they're the ones that are... Okay, so
Extremely forest.
they're the ones with the little fires?
Listen.
Literally, actually?
Listen.
I'm totally listening.
Have you ever... There's a saying where Pilgrim comes from that says, sometimes there are too many cooks.
Presumptive.
Is that not his saying where he comes from?
There are too many cooks.
I believe that in any land there is a risk of too many cooks.
In the kitchen, specifically.
Sure.
And I feel as though if we invite the farmers' input, I think that we either decide farmers we're fighting tomorrow or farmers we're not fighting tomorrow. I don't think we say, hey farmers, what do you think? That just sounds like a recipe
More or
for
less is a one.
I think that's a
disaster.
little condescending, but...
I agree with you, and also it's a lot of people that know nothing about the situation. Not nothing.
But they're also already fighting? Also,
I do feel.
Yeah, so we're telling them don't fight.
well, and
That's what I'm saying.
also, we're not really saying cook up anything. We're saying here are two plans. Which do you prefer?
I do feel somewhat responsible having riled up the farmers to come join us.
Fisherman. Just we're
Yeah, I was also kind of confused by that.
The fishermen. Perhaps we explain to them that the way they can be most helpful is gathering their magical items and create our lure. I want to take your words to heart that you spoke earlier of the psychic abilities of this aboleth could risk turning our allies into our foes, which I certainly do not want.
What exactly did you say to the fishermen today?
That's great. It was all off camera. But it was basically just...
Like, did you say, we're going to attack the crabs tomorrow? Or did you say, we need your help in fighting against the crabs tomorrow?
It was more in that vibe. I mean, we can make up whatever we want. I didn't actually say anything.
In that way, there's more room to be like, the help that we needed was for you to bring the things here.
Yeah.
Because I would be afraid that we make
I mean, the
fishermen who are prepared to fight angry by being like, just kidding.
I mean, the spirit of it was definitely we're forming an army.
Yeah, but like, what were the words that you said though?
I don't think I said any actual words because I think it
You
was.
just walked up to him and you went, ah! And they went, ah!
What would Pilgrim have said?
Pilgrim would have said, "Help us fight the Chuloth."
Help,
Yeah,
not tomorrow we fight.
I believe.
At dawn, we rise.
I believe our conversation is far too into the semantics. The fishermen surely have every intention.
That's a great tomato, they say in my land. All of them say
Zoom
that.
into one guy who's like in the like shallows of the lake with like a hoe and a rake, just like
Listen, I'm just saying that if they're mad tomorrow when we say, hey, thanks for coming, we're not fighting today,
I believe.
and you say, well, I asked you to help, I didn't ask you to fight, then we have like more room for,
I believe if we explain the situation of we need your help in fighting this Chuloth by giving us your magical items.
Yeah.
I feel like this is fine. I don't understand
This
the
is
conversation
fine.
we're having.
Here's the
It
other
so incredibly doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, it does. Because also, like, Who are they to trust us? We're gonna take their magical items from them?
No, they were like, we need to find someone to fight that. We're like the people that they find to fight things. We're the people that
They're not capable of fighting things themselves?
No, they're not.
Here's the middle
They're
ground.
fishermen.
Yeah, they hired us.
They fight fish. Here's the middle ground.
Those don't fight plants.
Perhaps we explain the risk. We explain our plan, we explain the risk, we encourage them to help from afar with their items, and those who want to join us are welcome to. But hopefully, if we explain well the risk, then some, if not all, will choose not to come into this risky situation.
Alright, all I'm saying is that when you have too many opinions in the basket, it's on you.
Julie's gonna say, that's a good point. So it seems like we are at an impasse. We don't know what plan to do. What if, compromise, we just talk to Rickeldar and Fairground first?
I literally just said that and you told me it was condescending.
No, to the, you said not to tell,
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
are you upset?
No.
Okay, seems like you're upset.
I just don't understand how what I said was different from what you said. That's all I'm saying.
I do think it's a little condescending to say don't talk to the fishermen at
Is
all.
that not what you just said?
I meant first, and then we talk to the fishermen. That's the compliment.
Sure. Okay.
Wonderful. Let us talk to Fairground and Rickledor.
End of episode.
We're so good at making quick and meaningful decisions.
We will explain our plan to make war with the Chuloth and then go from there. Seems reasonable to me.
In the interim, after this, while in the Onyx Willer Academy, over the time that lunch was had, the anti-venom, antitoxin thing is finished, and so Munkin gives you all 2 vials of this like anti-poison stuff for the Chul poison that he told you all is. As that exists, that this would help with that. I don't think. The only other thing, as y'all are kind of like wrapping up the conversation, getting ready to go, Savarin stands up and says, Munkin, I think I'm going to be done for the day, if that is all right. And he looks a little surprised, but says, okay. And she just goes, I think I'm supposed to just hang out with you all today, if that's okay.
We welcome the company.
Why though? I'm glad that you're here.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Is this another one of those feelings?
It is. I don't know what for.
Alright. Worked out last time, I guess.
I go with it.
The half dozen could certainly use all the help we can get in determining how best to approach this Chuloth issue.
Good. And then Munkin just clarifies. So you all have this stone, and your plan with it is to fight the other thing, the other version of it. And you're holding on to it. Okay. Just to clarify and make this better, I guess, though it once was mine, and I did not know about it anymore, I'm fine with you all keeping it.
Monk, and I appreciate your willingness to help and to confide and to travel down this very strange memory lane, trying to determine what this stone is, what it wants, where it came from, and what must be done. We do know that this stone is very directly linked to the lake, so as frightening a prospect as it may be, I do believe that having it close as we embark will be of use to us.
I can see that. Well, Soren, of course, take the day, and separate what you need to. Don't worry about this whole stone thing. I can tell that you were very nervous about it. So I know your heart and that you're only looking out for us and them and the town. So go enjoy some time. And she smiles and heads down towards the stairs and looks back towards you all. She's ready to leave as well.
Nice.
Great. Does anyone have an immediate need or somewhere else they would like to go, as it is now late afternoon?
Okay, Munkin said that the potion will be ready tomorrow morning. The new fire.
Yeah, so between that and overnight, being able to work on it.
Yeah, boom boom juice. I guess our next plan is just to debrief with Farragut and Rickledor, right? That was our conversation.
Did we just come from Philograms this morning?
We just came from
Farragut's and then Rickledar's.
Okay.
I think you already, because when the party split, you had gone to the archive with Farragut, while everyone else was at the Onyx Pillar, or was at Ocean's Deep, and then you all reconvened. So y'all were with Farragut this morning, and with Rickledar,
We've already been with those.
and then now with Munkin.
Just going back.
Do we... I guess it would make sense to try to sync up with Fairground and try to get him to meet us over at Rickledor's. Because if all the moping funeral people are still there, then we can have a little private meeting and then go into the common room and talk to all the farmers / the fish farmers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah.
Great. Pilgrim says that in game.
Mm-hmm. You've talked about needing to restock multiple times.
I need new javelins. This is not good, this is just me. I need more javelins before we fight again, but I have like 5 silver, but I don't know what our group money situation is. FYI.
That's a great question.
You had a chunk for that.
Chomp.
Like obviously we just did a lie at like the magic shop, but that was a grant. That was free money. That was not.
It was a grant.
Right.
A Farah grant.
We have 80 left.
You know that javelins are very, very cheap.
Okay. Yeah.
Like a gold or two would help you. But
Yeah, I mean order doesn't matter. And
Yeah.
we go do the meeting or do that later.
Sure. So then the plan is what? Grab Fairground and head over to Ocean Sea Goblin?
Yeah.
Okay. And at some point in this mix, head to the blacksmith as well. Okay, cool. Okay, let's do a quick conversation with Fairground first. I imagine you're leading this, and since you get there, Fairground is back to restored store. It is Fairground behind the counter. And he seems surprised to see you walk in just so soon. But what is your pitch? What is your...
Fairground, it has been an eventful day. We've just returned from the Onyx Pillar Academy. We did take a wild trip down memory lane with Munkin, and it does seem as if a Kalistar did give him the Husk Stone on a Founder's Day 3 years ago. Strange tale. Fast forward, we are going to do battle with the Chuloth and likely this Aboleth. We need to deliberate how best to approach this great watery predicament. So we would love for you to join us at the Ocean's Deep Goblet to speak with your business partner, Rickledor, and determine the best way to go about this issue that has plagued populace for quite a while.
I see, okay. And so my role in this, explained plainly, would be...
You are a wise one, and we have a problem with deciding things.
Great, okay. And I have it on your word that I will help in planning and guiding, but you require no firepower from me.
You are such a scaredy cat, man.
But
Are
speaking...
you even here?
Ms. Ripley's... Face the corner. You can help in actually 2 ways. We can. If you're ready to close up your shop, your livelihood, let's head on over to Ocean's Goblet. We can talk while we walk.
I see. Okay. You have me for the day, for this afternoon, or this evening? and see what I can do.
Ferdinand, we are indebted to you. Thank you for your hospitality and your patience with the half dozen you will.
Great. And then this is closing up shop, whatnot. Who all is heading to the blacksmith as well in this adventure?
I will.
Okay,
I thought we were all going together.
cool. That's what I was thinking, but I just wanted to check.
At some point, I do need to study my spells.
Right. Okay. Is that something you'd want to start immediately, or head towards Urkelbar, since that's just going to be in a couple of minutes, too?
Like the blacksmith is just going to be a couple minutes?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'll probably go to the blacksmith and do the spells later.
Okay. Wait,
that what you
head to the blacksmith on the way, or you're heading straight there now?
I think while we have Fairground, we probably want to just go talk to him.
Fairground wants to look at the blacksmith.
Does he want to? I didn't tell him that we were also stopping at blacksmith.
Fairground loves the blacksmith.
Yeah, can we all just go straight to
No, you guys can go. I want to go and choose the stuff. Just to.
It's up to you.
Just to are you?
Bye.
Are you? Wait a second, Miss Lady.
Just depending on what you all expect with like length of conversation and things like that, it's possible that this meeting, if it goes hours long, like in game time, that like shops would be closed, and you all are passing by conveniently where the blacksmith is. However, if with Fairground in tow, y'all are like, let's just go straight to business, that is also totally fine. I was just trying to help clarify timing.
Here's a thought. Maybe we pause and ask Fairground. Ask Fairground about meeting us at Ocean's Deep Goblet after hours. And then he gets to continue to make a living at his shop that we keep taking him from. And then we go to the blacksmith's, and then we all meet up later that night.
That is much more compelling.
Also, while I have you here, 2 questions. One,
He's like putting his sword back together.
actually, let's go. Do you know, as a talented, high-level magic user, do you know anything in the ways of spells to undo an enchantment that affected memory, or spells to make fire much worse than fire?
Fire for my hand.
Okay. While in some scrolls and books that I do have stored up and ones that I've worked through, there are some pretty higher level evocation spells that do just that. And as for unthreading magic that has been done as well, there are a couple of routes to do it. Some in the more healing route, some in the more anti-arcaneness of that too, depending on what the ailment, predicament, or thing that is before you, whichever one would be more appropriate. They do exist, and I'm not sure if you noticed that. Give me 1 second. I'm sure that the one like
He's level 20.
undoing magic, the one that like simply like taking magic away from enchanted things, is something that he is capable of. However, the one that would be the more healing realm, if somebody were deeply ailed by dark magics, that one is not within my expertise.
Well, regardless, we just may be encouraging Monkey to pay a visit at some point.
Okay.
If there's any way you can help him, it does seem that this prolonged exposure to the Hearthstone rubbed off on him in some of the worst ways.
I see. Well, we can certainly have a chat.
All right, we'll see you at Ocean's Deep Goblet later tonight.
Great place to meet.
Is it? That was me aside, not Laura.
He's your patron.
And so now we're gonna go to the blacksmiths to get cool weapons. Cool.
At least javelins. We don't have a ton of money, so
Okay.
I can't get anything else.
Cool. To watch Gwen get javelins.
Don't want to shoot us.
Okay. So you head to the Dragon Heat. Where are you? The Heat and Strike. That is it. Okay.
Strike.
So over on the west side of town, You cross the main road, head over a little bit more, closer to the lake, and you find the place that Rigaldor had described to you as being a bit north up the coast and a little bit more in towards the markets. You're able to find the blacksmith shop easily by the sound of smithing happening, but oddly enough, as you get to one of the few two-storied buildings on this side of town, and you enter the main market part of it on the base level, you don't see an anvil, you don't see the fire, and you can actually see from open windows up above. What you hear coming out of that is the banging on an anvil. That the actual workshop part of this is upstairs. But as you do enter onto the first floor, there is a rectangular counter that cuts off a back section where you can see the stairs leading up behind the counter, and in a rocking chair and a quilt. You can see a red scaled Dragonborn man sitting there wrapped up, even though this is the height of the afternoon and a little bit warmer. He's bundled up and by a fire that is down on this lower level. And being a Dragonborn, you can see this is a like a bipedal human-looking figure, but skin is entirely red scales. And then where ears would be, the kind of just holes are little horns that are kind of come back on his head too. But even then, they look kind of chipped away and rugged, showing some age. And then even the space between the scales look kind of pale in a way that also adds just like some deeper lines to his face, that even though you don't see soft skin and wrinkles and things like that, there's an agedness to him. But the group enters, and he bellows out towards you, Stephen, who runs some NPCs in our campaign sometimes. Stephen, this is your character.
What?
Oh
I'm quilting! What?
To make that moment even funnier, because I think this is better, is I describe him wearing a quilt, not quilting. And so, I think the inconsistency stays.
What do you want? It's a quilt day!
But we clearly heard people working, right?
Oh yeah, upstairs
Okay.
you can hear a lot of banging.
Mr. Scaleback?
What?
Hi, we were sent by Rickledar. We're the
Rickelha!
half dozen.
What? Speaking to my good horn!
I pass. I don't do it.
I'm gonna tell.
I'm gonna leave the room. Are you Mr. Scaleback?
I got scales! I got a quilt! It's a quilt day!
It's stunning.
Thank you.
What do you call this stitch here on the flower? What do you?
A damn good one!
That's what I thought.
Why are you in my home?
We're here for the blacksmith part of your home.
I was reading a book. Is that what you're
Just
Wearing a quilt.
But sure, you have a book if you want.
Is there a book? Alright, well, I was gonna say, it's just like another book. I'm just gonna grab a book off the table, wall,
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
I'm just gonna chuck it at the ceiling as hard as I can. And then just go back to, I don't know, was Joe staring out the window?
You can hear eventually the banging continues, but the book hit the roof in between beats off of the anvil, and then slowly coming down the stairs, an older woman steps down, who's wearing dark brown rugged robes, and she goes, "Stop it now! Don't be rude to the customer."
It's a quilt day! Hey, coming on a quilt day!
Every day's a
I'm
quilt
asking all that question!
What
I'm not speaking to my good horn!
What are you trying to buy?
What do you want?
I have tears in my eyes. That's not from laughing.
Well, speak up!
Verbal assault tears.
We both asked you a question!
Hello, we are here from Rickledar. We are the half dozen.
Are you buying a Rigaldar?
What?
They're telling me I have scales on my back like I don't know.
Go to the wrong one.
We are here to buy blacksmith goods.
We're inside. Use an inside voice.
She needs a javelin or many.
Thank you. I asked a simple question. She's telling me about Rickledar. 1 second. And then she turns around and starts heading back up.
And I throw 2 more books at the ceiling.
Yeah, we gotta get the deal.
My mind.
What are you reading?
I scoot my chair so the back is entirely to the lower left, and I just face the
That's rude.
You're rude! You come in here on a quilt day and ask me all these questions!
Why do I feel like you're Amish?
I like to read books too, though.
I throw the book across the room in her direction, like past her. Though. Read this!
Read the book then!
I go and pick up the book. What's the book about?
It is half-finished crossword puzzles.
Fantasy crosswords.
Eventually, the old lady comes back down, and she's holding a bundle of about 12 javelins, and she's just like slow stepping, and she comes down. Javelins, right?
Yes.
I was talking to the sad one, little goth boy. You said javelins?
Yeah, they're not for me though. They're for her, the large.
Okay, so someone's buying them, and she comes down the stairs and then lays a dozen javelins down. She scoots 6 over to one side, 6 over to the other. How many are you buying?
What? It depends. We are buying some. Do you know Rickledar?
Yes.
Okay, we just wanted to make sure we were at the right place of having an agreement here. How much per javelin?
1 second. Turns back around, heads up the stairs. Eventually, the banging on the anvil stops. And then, slowly walking down, another Dragonborn, red scales, all of that, but this one looks a lot younger, who's wearing a leather apron that drops down below the waist and white cloth. Walks by, passes Stefano, and picks up one of the books off of the ground, puts it on the shoulder. Here, you drop this.
Without looking, I grab by, I throw it at the ceiling again.
Get your toss
No. You ask this about every old person in my campaign. Is at least your grandparents.
They're always funny and can't hear.
Yeah. But,
It's a quilt day!
That guy's boy and all his girlfriends want javelins!
Wonderful. Thank you, Stefano.
Hey,
Pilgrim money.
The pilgrim's right there. I'm sure wide-eyed. Just walking his over.
Eyebrows up.
It's the girls' day.
I hope they've been treating you well. Hello, I'm Morrow.
I treat him fine for a quilt day!
Happy Quilt Day, Grandpa. Actually, wait, no. Happy Quilt Day, Dad. Great. Hello, I am Morrow Scaleback, and I'm the one running the shop today. So I'm glad that I was warned of your coming so politely. Javelins, yes, we have 2 different options here if you're looking to buy them. These on my left here, these are standard javelins, and this bundle of 6 is 1 gold. And then also this side, these ones, and you can see at the tips, are barbed and have a bit more kind of rugged depth to their tips. I was able to forge on a little bit more of these kind of like hooks and sharper ends to them, and these seem to be a bit more fun looking. This bundle of 6 here would be about 3 gold for this bundle. And for property wise, the normal ones just as usual, nothing added to them, but the more rugged ones do a bonus 2 damage to those 6 as well.
Is there a limit to how many I can carry at once?
Probably 6.
Probably 6.
Yeah.
But maybe
You'd be like strapping them loosely to your back with like some leather holding that you have.
Morrow, thank you. Nice to meet you. Gwendolyn, and this is where the Talk does it. This is Misery, and totally Laura and Booger.
Doesn't!
Yes, your
Like you doesn't respect a quilt day?
That's right.
sets it on fire.
This thing's about to get in a fight.
You're a
what you
little
gotta say
punk,
about it, old man?
little goth kid!
See me, Rudy! engaged, and then the old lady comes down the stairs too. Just leans on the chair next to Stefan. She's eyeing you.
We're both just glaring at you. Look at this.
This is a peaceful place, I say quietly.
Scumbag family's been making armor and weapons longer than you've been walking in your little diaper.
How long do you think we've been walking in our little diapers?
I don't know, 5?
5
5!
years?
I was gonna say 7.
5 of them. Little diaper boy.
Well, okay.
Orla is visibly frustrated with the situation and walked outside.
Don't join you.
Yeah.
She knows how to respect some squirrel day.
By leaving? You
Yes.
Okay.
Good night. And now
don't want our money?
And his wife is just going, as you're walking out as well.
And that's what I did.
You got him!
Start us with. Get your javelins. We gotta get out of here.
Yeah. I'll take the spiky boys.
Okay.
The ones with fish or something?
Let me know if they work. I just a prototype and haven't seen anyone using it. So.
Yeah. Do you think you could do you think one could dip them, in a poison before javeloning?
Yeah, you could apply some type of poison to them. Do you do that often? Is that something that you like using?
I've never done it. It just seems, with the extra surface area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. That's interesting. Maybe I'll start working on maybe a special type of javelin that can hold in some poisons as well. Something that might be more convenient for that. Yeah, I'll be working on that. Maybe give me a couple of days, but I'll see if I can. Me or one of the sisters can maybe figure something out. In case that wasn't encouraging enough, there are more of us.
Amazing.
When he referred to his sisters, he said in case that wasn't encouraging enough,
okay.
there are more of us.
Yeah, sorry, that was me pausing, not Glenn pausing. Yeah, I think that would be cool. Yeah, maybe some kind of vial in there. I say, did someone just give me money for barbecue?
You want any money?
Whoever has some of the group's money, you can just deduct 3 gold from.
I don't know who's tracking it.
Yeah.
I'll track it. Okay.
I have 8 gold. Gold.
Misery, were you gonna buy anything? Were you so distasted by what was inside?
I was gonna look at some armor, but I don't think I have enough gold for anything. But I'll ask the nice young man.
Okay.
What kind of armor do you have?
Look who's back!
Oh. Stay asleep, old man.
Don't tell me what to do, you little fire boy.
Don't tell me what to do.
You little horny idiot.
Old man. Old man.
And then Stephanos' head whips over to Pilgrim and says,
Stay out of my head and talk to me like a man.
and then Pilgrim kind of jumps in. Looks away.
Stand in my head.
What Pilgrim say to him?
You'll never know.
Yeah.
I've made some chainmail that I do have if you wear any chainmail.
Something lighter.
And then I do have some.
Oh, you gotta wear a feather, perhaps.
Can you stay out of my life?
You little dainty spindle boy.
I'm trying to do business with your great grandson. Who is this?
He's my son.
Well, you're almost dead.
Buy some eyes.
Say, Misery, he's not your dad. He's not your dad.
He's not my dad.
He's
That's
not
for
your
sure.
dad.
I'm so sorry.
I'm selling some studded leather armor for 15 gold as well, if that is helpful to you.
Oh, does anybody have 7 gold?
Yeah, we have 77 gold.
Oh, we have so much.
Yeah, the groups.
Can I use it for this?
I don't know, ask Jeffrey.
You may be tiny, but at least you're poor.
I'd rather be poor than rich off my old man. Okay, goodbye. All right, I'm gonna take his That's terrible.
I said that, not Glenn.
It's so cold.
All right, let's do this transaction because I'm sorry, but I hate your parents more than I hate my own parents at this point.
That's horrible.
What, do you love them?
Yes.
Okay, well then I'm gonna leave you as well. But give me the studded leather armor.
So you're gonna enjoy this contract. Okay, 15 gold for the studded leather armor then. Alright, so we got some javelins, we got some studded leather armor.
Yay.
Okay. Anything else here?
We have 62 gold.
Great.
62.
Guys, none of our classes. Another one.
Whoa.
The spiky boys do +2 damage.
Ooh.
Okay.
Spiky boys, spiky boys.
So, and now leaving the blacksmith shop, Savara in tow and Bellin in tow. Let's not forget those.
Oh, I think them.
Right.
The 3/4 doesn't.
And now the plan is, which is now like, maybe like 3 hours before sunset.
Welcome, says, well, that was a horrible experience. Let's go to Ocean's Deep Goblet and speak to Rickledor about our intentions to meet with Fairgrand after hours.
Okay. It is about a 5-minute walk between this shop and Rickledor. And maybe a minute or two into it, Savarin reaches a hand over towards Lorelith. And Lorelith, when you make eye contact with her, she looks like bone white. And her eyes just like dart from yours over towards the lake, and her hand just goes on your shoulder. I just had a vision.
Sorry. What?
This is very concerning. And then she reaches her hand out like this, and then you can see little streaks of like lightning and static, just kind of like and like pop and snap in her hand. She reaches it over towards your quiver that you have in your back, and she sets her hand on it. I think you're going to need this, and then the electricity like leaves her hand, and then scatters across all of the arrows that you have in your quiver. And you can see that all of your particular arrows now are like glowing with a slight blue energy. And then once her hand just goes off in the distance towards the lake, you can hear, which some of you would recognize as the like warning horn that a lot of the guards use here to signify that they need help. And then you can hear some shouting, "Get away from the lake! Get away! They're coming!" As now some civilians and fisher farmers and folk are now running in towards the center of the city. And
But we haven't
And that's where you're
met yet though, so
Right.
can we go back in the lake? That'd be great.
and that's where we're gonna end
Yeah.
this episode.
Dragged.